am so glad to be back at IMS. I graduated back in 2007. Started my career at US 99.5. Started working with Lisa and Ray. I was the producer there for about 7-8 years. And I am so glad to be back in the building teaching some new students here, getting them back doing Adobe, getting over that fear of talking on the radio. And it's Chris Reese, Night Guy on 101.9 The Mix, and I am IMS.
You're listening to ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports. It's a
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 2:01 p.m., I'm Nikos Michaels with your Chicagoland Sports Radio.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on careers in broadcasting, go to beonair.com. Yesterday, the Braves and Cubs faced off at Wrigley Field, with the Cubs having bases loaded at the bottom of the ninth to just come up short and lose that game. The Cubs will be back at it tonight to face off against the Braves in Atlanta at 6 p.m. Over the weekend on the south side, the Sox dropped 2 of 3 in their crosstown series versus the Cubs. The Sox are facing the Pittsburgh Pirates with first pitch at 6:05 at PNC Park. Last time the Sox faced the Pirates, they dropped both at home. In the NHL playoffs, the conference finals got started with the Vegas Golden Knights and Winnipeg Jets splitting 1 each as the series heads back to Vegas with a 1-1 tie. In the Eastern Conference Finals, the Washington Capitals took a 2-0 series lead versus the Tampa Bay Lightning while outscoring them 10-0 respectively. Their next game is tonight in Washington as they look to take a 3-0 stranglehold lead against Lightning. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. This update is also brought to you by Chicago Dogs Baseball. The home opener for the inaugural season will be May 25th when they take on the Kansas City T-Bones at 7:05 p.m. For tickets, visit thechicagodogs.com. I'm Nikos Michaels, and you're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Live on Chicago. That's right. Hot take, Nikos.
What up?
What is going on, man?
What's going on? How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Their ticket to the Western Conference Final of the AHL playoffs.
Look at those guys. That penalty shot, eh?
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my. From the Nashville Predators.
Yeah, I remember writing about that when over the trade deadline. No, he was cool. He actually has a highlight in the SHL where he just goes coast to coast, and then it looks like an open net, and he just takes a slapper right in front of the goalie, and like everyone boos him because like, dude, you don't take a slap shot 2 feet in front of the goalie, and he did it. Anyway.
Yeah, what is this, NHL 18?
Yeah, it was a bad move.
But yeah, and I'm not gonna go ahead and compare him to Patrick Kane in a shootout by any means. But yeah, the moves this guy put on, you can actually go to my Twitter and see that video. No, that moves.
Was it smooth?
Oh, yeah.
Was it real
skated
smooth?
In real smooth. I was looking for the GIF. You posted something on Twitter yesterday on our show Twitter.
The what?
on our show Twitter.
No, what is it called?
What?
A GIF?
Yeah, a GIF.
No, it's a GIF. It's no GIF. There's no J.
Well, it's G.
Oh my god. Oh yes, GIF. Don't
GIF.
get me started.
Shut up.
There's a. My name is GIF. Like, no, it's not. It's GIF.
Oh, whatever.
Just making sure you know, so no one else roasts you.
What is this? NBC? The more you know.
It could be.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I was looking for the GIF of that commercial, the Real Smooth, because you had posted something on our Penalty Box Twitter at Penalty Box CSR.
Hey.
Now that they have more followers than my personal page does.
Shameless marketing.
That's all right. You know what? I'm happy we're doing well on social media per se.
Apparently.
No, and you know, them yesterday about being their sister Jean, and I was like,
Here, so yeah.
I mean, that's that.
They responded. No, I kind of I was looking at their Twitter actually following that. So the Chicago Wolves were like, so can you guys like win it already so Chicago has something to to celebrate? And then the Blackhawks Twitter responded with, yeah, it was because we can't rely on you. Like,
Oh, the Wolves.
No, the Blackhawks responded to the Wolves said that to the Rockford Ice Hogs, like, hey, can you guys win already? It was the overtime. And then the Blackhawks were like, yeah, we need to rely on them because we can't rely on you.
Because some of these, we thought Vegas was pure gold when it first came out.
Well, yeah, they fired the main guy that was on there.
Why?
I don't know, but I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I still like the Vegas Twitter. I really like you watched like the recently, like whoever it is. It's pretty funny. I actually do like following him. Like, he posts a lot about dogs. I love dogs, but he just posts really funny stuff. Like they were down in the first game, and he's like, "Don't worry, guys, it's okay. Here's a picture of a dog to get you through your day."
I saw that.
Like, it's pretty funny.
So yeah, you know, looking at the AHL stuff, you know, Colin Delia, I think he was the third or fourth best goalie in the playoffs, behind the guy from Lehigh Valley, of course, the Marlies goalie, Garrett Sparks, and then the Texas Stars goalie, which these four teams are all going at it in the AHL, you know, conference finals. Right. And I know we're kind of pumped because your team's in it, my team's in it.
I mean, how awesome would that be? We get to watch both of our teams possibly go into the AHL final.
The Calder Cup final, yeah.
Final. What's the name of the trophy? I can never.
The Calder Cup.
Is it really called the Calder Cup?
Yeah, it is.
I thought it was called something like strange. Like, they have strange trophies in the AHL. They have like a Frank B. like tradition award for the most tradition.
Right.
Brought to you by a player. I don't know. There's weird stuff going on there. But yeah, that'd be awesome to see the Marlies. This would be what I think they won like 2 in the last like 5 years, around something like that.
Could be.
No, it was Crunch. I can tell you. Didn't do my facts, but
that's okay.
Either way, they've been a pretty solid team, I know for sure, for the Marlies. But yeah, that'd be awesome. I wouldn't mind seeing Marlies versus the Rock.
And that wasn't even the best part. So Friday, got a chance to have a really nice talk with Blackhawks anthem singer Jim Cornelison.
What was that?
Took a picture with him. He was actually on our show.
Oh, was he really? Oh.
Yeah. If you remember, I know we have so many guests on our show. So
I know
I think we have like 3 of them actually.
Oh,
we've had 3.
Yeah, we just got to introduce him next time, so no problem there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's okay. Reoccurring guest.
He didn't even he didn't really remember being on our show.
He definitely did. He was "You were my favorite Chicago show to be on for sure." He definitely.
Well,
said
we're
that.
The official sports talk of the NHL.
Hockey's on ESPN, so hey, if we got that going for us,
right?
But yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, you said he was was he a nice guy?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that was fun. I mean, we didn't get to meet him, but he came on the show. If you do want to check that out, we do have that on our YouTube as well.
Yeah, he was
marketing.
He was sitting in front of me, and like he walks up and sits down. I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like, is this a thing? Is this real?" And the lady like sitting in front of me is like, "Yeah, that's real." I was like, "Okay." I'm just making sure because you never really see any of this. And then, of course, going to the Cubs game on Sunday with Mom for Mother's Day was fun.
Yeah, no, I actually went to the Cubs game yesterday too. So they ended up losing, but
so did they on Sunday. It's okay. I mean, whatever works. I had some Sox fans like trying to go ahead and chirp me a little bit, and I responded with, it's you got to let your little brothers win every once in a while.
Oh yeah, dude, the scores of those games were nuts. Like, well, one of them was like 11-2.
Mm-hmm.
Another one was what, 8-4, I believe.
Yeah, 8-4, and then
the last
lost
game,
5-3.
Like, all right, you can go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing, Sox. I mean, they are a rebuilding team, so hey.
Dude, I've been hearing that since 05.
True.
Ooh, no, I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter. I mean, just having fun, going out and watching ball games. What did you do this weekend?
What did I do? I worked. I got an infection in my hand.
Where do you work?
I work at Home Depot.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I work at Home Depot. So I worked like a 10-hour shift, right? So I'm actually long shift, right? At the end of my shift, of course, my boss is like, "Hey, go pick up these heavy trees." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go pick them up." Go pick up the heavy trees. It took me like an hour. So I'm back there 11 hours actually. Last tree I'm picking up. The tree falls on my hand. I didn't really think anything of it, right? I go and pick up the tree, whatever. Look at my hand. My whole hand's swollen. I have an infection on my hand. So the next day, I go to the doctor, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're allergic to trees." I'm like, "All trees?" So yeah, that was cool. My whole hand was swollen for a whole day. So that was fun. That's what I did.
Fun fact: Hot Take Nikos is indeed allergic to trees. I never would have thought I would have heard that out of your mouth.
In case you have
I'm allergic to vaping. But you're allergic to trees. I got it.
Yeah, I mean, guess so is 29 other teams are allergic to Vegas. So hey, you got that going for you.
You mean 30?
30, isn't math? No. Yeah, you're
There's
right.
31 teams, yeah.
Well, not yet. I mean, Winnipeg's still going against them, so they haven't fought off the allergic attack yet.
Well, they might get the Vegas flu.
Hey,
like every other team in the NHL has. Even Vegas at times has gotten the Vegas flu.
Now, how about those guys? I mean, I'm excited that they're gonna. Do you think they can win it? You think they can win it?
No.
You're a hater.
I'm not a hater. I actually finally gave them respect last week.
Like by doing what?
By saying I don't hate them anymore.
Really?
That's good for them. I mean, whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you admit.
I'm tired of jumping on the Vegas bandwagon.
Is it a bandwagon, though?
It is.
I mean, first-year team. You can't really jump on a bandwagon.
You're
jumping on the team because it's the first-year team. First year for the team.
Whatever happened to liking one team and sticking with one team?
Well, you have your wife. You have your wife team, which in your case would be the Blackhawks, and you have your girlfriend team, who would be the Vegas, if the Vegas Golden Knights.
That doesn't.
Like, I love Toronto. I will go to the grave loving Toronto, but my girlfriend team on occasions was Golden Knights this year. And maybe if I need to break up with her, I'll break up with her. If I don't need to break up with her.
Way to stay faithful.
Yeah, I mean,
to your wife team.
Well, they lost.
Maybe that's
not enduring this playoffs, right? Okay.
Whatever. Well, speaking of Vegas, we're going to talk about them in that series with the Winnipeg Jets. No, I'm just kidding. We're not. The new GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll talk about that. Give you some so-called headlines here in the NHL when we come back on the Penalty Box. ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School. Tom Waddle, ESPN 1000.
Don't waste another minute in a career you don't love. You can be the next great announcer, DJ, producer, or TV reporter. You'll learn key skills from industry pros while working with professional equipment on air and behind the scenes. Still need to keep the 9-to-5 job? Their flexible class schedules can work around any schedule. Short on cash? They have very affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. You'll have access to amazing internships and job placement assistance when you graduate at top radio and TV stations like ESPN. Learn more at beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
What's up, Chicago?
That's right. The Rising Feminist Wrestling Show covers WWE, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and so much more. It is all about the honesty when it comes to promos, wrestling, and of course, the wrestlers aren't even safe. The Rising Feminist Wrestling Show is more than just the highlights. It is the fresh opinions about everything in wrestling. So come join me, Stephanie, the feminist voice of wrestling, every Thursday from 2 to 4 on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It is not just sports, it's a way of life.
Here on the R&R Show, we probably know.
I am Raphael Young, and then there were four. What am I talking about? 4 teams remain in the NBA playoffs. Who will win it all? Will it be the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Boston Celtics, the Houston Rockets, or the defending champion Golden State Warriors? I can tell you that anything is possible in the NBA playoffs, and I will talk about the Celtics White Sox. Tune in every Monday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. at ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's real life.
The heat is finally on in Chicago.
The conference finals matchups are set.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Join us as we answer the question everyone is asking.
We're waiting.
Who's going to the Stanley Cup final?
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Jeez. Okay.
Take a seat in the penalty box. I'll take Nikos and the Goon. Tuesdays from 2 to 4 on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Nothing moves the blog.
We got fake news.
The deep right center field. That one is gone, but not forgotten.
What's going on, Steve?
What's up, Matt?
Tune in Wednesday afternoons from noon to 2 for our show Covering the Bases on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
And you can watch us on Facebook Live. We'll be covering all the latest news on the Cubs and Sox, as well as other happenings around MLB.
And other cool stuff.
Covering the Bases, your one-stop shop for everything MLB every Wednesday, only on Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
I got started at IMS here as an instructor.
the new general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Thank you, Brendan. I'd just like to begin by stating that I'm very fortunate and lucky to be here, and just would like to take the time to kind of go through the people or the organizations that have helped me along this path, and that have helped me to be lucky along the way and to accrue such fortune. First and foremost, the MLSE ownership, chairman of the board, Mr. Tannenbaum, for showing the faith in me 4 years ago, and then furthering that, obviously, here today. In addition, obviously, Brendan as the president of our club, and everything that he's done for the organization and for me, it's greatly appreciated, and I'm looking forward to continue to work closely with Brendan.
How great is that guy?
What's that?
How great is that guy?
Whatever.
I love that guy. He's awesome. I can't wait to see what he does for the Leafs. Like, straight up. Like, I know he's been training under like the best GM, in my opinion. Well, I say Lou Lamoriello is like top 5 like all-time best GMs. And I mean, just the fact that how young he is and like the potential there for just so much success. Like he's given. Do you think he's one of like? He's probably the first GM given like the best situation in the last like 10 years, like being hired on. Like, how fantastic is that though? Like you don't even need to really do anything. All you have to do is add a couple pieces to this team.
Is that it? That's all you need is a couple pieces.
I think. Well, okay. Well,
is it a couple pieces to make the second round?
Or again, here you are being a subjugative hater.
I'm not being. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
This is not being devil's advocate.
No, this is being devil's advocate. Congrats on the guy for getting this job. Okay. I'm not saying the Leafs are bad. I'm saying they still have a lot of work to do.
All right. Well, yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, well, think of it this way. So, thinking about what he's walking into now. You know, he walks into having Matthews, Nylander, Marner. All of them are under 20. I think 21. You have Riley on defense, 24. Anderson's 28 years old.
Jake Gardner.
Okay, well, besides Jake Gardner. Jake Gardner's not as bad as I think all of us reacted to being in Game 7. Like, that was the worst game a defender could have had in that game. He played the worst game, but he's not as bad as people want to make it seem.
You guys were calling him to die.
I know. Well, Leafs Nation is pretty wordy.
I'll say.
Yeah, so he's not as bad. I mean, during the regular season, you know he was the only defenseman to have a 10-game point scoring streak. Did you know that?
I didn't know.
Yeah, no, he does. The only one who did it. And he was the only one to do it also without scoring a goal. He scored 15 assists within 10 games and didn't even need a goal to do it. But yeah, no, he's a good defenseman. I mean, he's one of those guys where like his head and his skates are doing one thing and his stick does something else. I don't know. He's a weird guy. He can be like the best defenseman out there in the league, and then just the next moment just become the worst defenseman in the league.
I mean, hey, things happen. No, in all honesty, this season, and maybe having you maybe give me a little perspective on the Maple Leafs makes me not hate them as much. Although I didn't really have a reason to hate them in the first place.
You're a hater.
I'm not a hater.
You are.
I'm not.
That's not red. You hate. Like, all right. Well, like I'm saying, like he's walking into a pretty good situation in the Leafs. And honestly, to have a generational player in Matthews, realizing Marner's probably a little bit better than just a top 6 forward. Like, how great is that? Two 70-point seasons in a row as a freshman and a sophomore in the league. That's pretty nuts. I mean, Nylander. I'm not sure what the deal with Nylander is. He's had 2 55-point seasons. He's had 2 20-goal seasons, but he's only not the saying 55 points is like not like a lot of points, but like you're thinking that's like a top 6 forward on like one of the highest scoring teams. He would have had a little bit more offensive output, but just like in general, like thinking about it, I'm trying to like compare it to somebody else. Rick Nash. When you think of Rick Nash, you think he's like this like top winger, right?
Yeah.
And realistically, he's only had 2 60-point seasons and above, and 1 74-point season. Like, he's so overrated. Like, I love Rick Nash to death. Like, he's one of my favorite players. But like realistically, he's been the most overrated like guy ever. He's never performed in the playoffs, and he's just overrated. But anyway, I'm getting back because like compare it player wise, like Nylander having 255-point seasons or 50-ish point seasons in 2 years, pretty decent, but not. I don't think what we expected of him. I think because Marner and Matthews have done so well. Just the fact that Nylander isn't there yet, I think everyone's like, "Come on, man, like get up."
Because they're being impatient and they want him to succeed. Let me ask you, since we're on the subject of the Maple Leafs,
okay.
Babcock and Matthews, what do you think about that? Is there any tension, do you think, there? And if there is, do you think it gets resolved before the start of next season?
Well, Dreger did an interview with Babcock while he was watching some of the Leafs players in the IIHF tournament. And literally Babcock was just like, well, sometimes a young player wants to play more and sometimes we just can't play him more. And we talked about it, and he said, yeah, he was just irate at the time. They weren't mad at each other. It's just a regular – it was one of those things that got out to the media that was kind of like someone just took and was like, oh, they must hate each other. Like, no. The guy's a 20-year-old kid who wanted to play more in the playoffs and maybe said something like, hey, I wish I could have played more. And that got out and that turned into, hey, I hate my coach. I hope he dies. Like, it turned into all that.
I'm totally taking that soundbite and I'm going to put it in our promo.
But yeah, no, it just turned into something that really wasn't there. And I mean, I thought it was a non-story to begin with. And honestly, it still is a non-story, just purely to the fact that if Babcock and Matthews did have a huge problem, Babcock would be gone first before the season even started. That's a huge problem there because Matthews is your building block. But I think more back to Dubas, just him and Babcock have to come and talk soon, like what they want to do for the team. And I feel like teams would pretty much stay the same, like what the idea of what they want. As an organization, like how they're fast speed, and they want to keep playing to this high tempo kind of possession play. I think that's what's really going to be important to the franchise. Which, talking about player personnel, Kyle Dubas has always been one of those GMs who worked with analytics, and he's one of those computer geeks, I should say. But what I'm getting at, he wants to go younger with the team, and they have a lot of pending UFAs. Bozak's like 33, JVR is 29, Leo Komarov, who's been fantastic for the last 5 years as a Leaf. I think he's 33. Roman Polak, another Babcock's favorite toys, he's out there, and even Dominic Moore, who's like ancient. But in general, I'm really excited to see what he does, because that's a lot of pending free agents, and those are a lot of guys who are key components to this team. I mean, JVR had 36 goals last season. I mean, Bozak's been a first line, second line, third line player his entire time with the Leafs.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what he does with the Leafs.
Yeah, and it should be fun. We're actually going to have a little conversation in our short segment about pending UFAs for free agency this year.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to play a little prediction on where we think they're going to go.
Oh, yeah, exciting.
Sounds exciting, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
So we'll talk about that. Short sports update. Hopefully I get through without stumbling.
Yeah. Okay,
and we'll be back here. You're listening to the Penalty Box, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 2:30 on the Goon with your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on careers in broadcasting, go to beonair.com. The Cubs lost to the Atlanta Braves 6-5 in their makeup game. Jose Quintana took the loss. Chris Bryan and Albert Almora Jr. both homered for the Northsiders. The Cubs will travel to Atlanta to start a series with the Braves. Yu Darvish will be on the mound as he looks for his first win as a Cub. First pitch comes at 6:35. The White Sox had Monday off, but they will travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates. Ronaldo Lopez will be on the bump for the Sox as they look for win number 11 of the season. First pitch comes from PNC Park at 6:05. Vegas Golden Knights evened up their Western Conference final with a 3-1 win over the Winnipeg Jets last night. Jonathan Marchessault had a pair of goals. Thomas Tatar also netted one in the win. I think I said Thomas, I meant Tomas. Game 3 is Wednesday night in Vegas. And the Washington Capitals look to put the Tampa Bay Lightning on the brink of elimination. Game 3 is tonight, and if the Washington Capitals come out on top, they will have a 3-0 series lead in the Eastern Conference Final and be within one win of the Stanley Cup Final. Puck drop is at 7. This update is also brought to you by Chicago Dogs Baseball. The home opener for the inaugural season will be May 25th when they take on the Kansas City T-Bones at 7:05. For tickets, visit thechicagodogs.com. I'm the Goon, and you're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports. It's a way of life. Hello. So, here we're about to do, we're going to look at the top 12 unrestricted free agents of 2018. This is coming from Sportsnet. We'll start off
the bottom to top.
Bottom to top.
Bottom to top.
So this is really, really hard to read.
Oh, well,
okay, hold on.
Just name one.
Hold on.
John
All
Tavares.
right. We'll just go with John Tavares.
Okay, Jonathan Tavares. John Tavares, whatever. Well, I mean, first off, like for the biggest candidate, I think that he's go. I think everyone that wants him to go to the biggest team, I think he's gonna go to the Leafs. I want him to go to the Leafs. Realistically, I don't think so, just because they don't have the cap space.
Oh, man.
Well, no, I mean he's from Toronto. He's even stated in when he was a junior player that he wanted to play for Toronto. So, and I think any Canadian player, besides if you were born in Montreal, wants to play for Toronto. But yeah, I think that's the biggest team there. I think I was saying last week, San Jose, a big player in the Tavares sweepstakes. But do you think like New York Islanders are a player in that, or do you think he's gone?
You know what? I think he's sort of done. I think Garth Snow, he's come out and said that he wants to offer him, an 8-year deal for $10 million a year. But I don't think John Tavares wants a winner.
Where else could he go? Because he's not going to take a hometown discount. He had a sweetheart deal this whole time. I think he was only getting paid like 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah, I mean that was nuts for 6 years, and you don't win a championship. But like they just didn't put a team around him. I mean, I'm beating the dead horse with saying what they didn't do. But
I'm gonna make a hot take here. All right, go ahead. He's gonna go to Vegas.
I don't see it.
I do.
I mean, Vegas has the cap space, yes, but I don't know. They're still a weird team to me. Just the fact that they really don't have any like defensemen who are like up there, but they're just as a team, as a whole, they just kind of work so well together, and that's what the biggest thing with them is. But I don't know if you'd want to go to Vegas though. I mean, like, what would be your okay? You say you're the Vegas GM. Put yourself in Vegas GMs. Like, what would you pitch him? I mean, like, what would you say? Like, why come here, John Tavares? Why?
Because in their first year, they've proven that they can win. They're not just some, team that's going to lie down. They've proven that they can fight and that they can play, a composed game.
Okay.
And plus, they're the new team. Who wouldn't want to go there?
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't.
I'm just saying.
I wouldn't want to. I mean, all right. Well, besides Vegas, I've seen reports of Montreal wanting to go grab him just because they need a center so bad. It's another Canadian market. They could throw so much money at. They have so much cap space over in Montreal. But just the fact that they're in kind of a weird transition mode where they don't really have any prospects coming up, but they kind of have old contracts, and nobody really knows whether or not they're a good team or not a good team. Like Shea Weber, their top defenseman, is an aging defenseman who, he had a foot injury this last year. And then, besides that, Montreal's not a really good team. So I don't really see him going there. But New York Rangers, another big one. That's a big market for him to go to. But it's right across the river from Brooklyn. So
I gotcha. Real quick here, because we're running out of time.
All right.
Zdeno Chara. Does he sign a 1-year deal to play somewhere?
He already did. He signed a 1-year extension with the Bruins.
Okay, well then this is like.
Yeah, he signed a 1-year extension with the Bruins. He had like $4 million, and then with bonuses, he actually has a $6 million cap hit if he hits those bonuses, which is playing 10 games. So essentially, he's going to get $6 million.
Thanks for sucking Sportsnet. Maybe I should look to see when this article was written. It's March 22nd, of course.
All right. JVR, where do you think JVR is going? He's not going to sign with the Leafs. He's done.
No. That's a good question.
I think Anaheim. Or Vegas. Just because I think they need another
Possibly
winger.
even Washington.
No, I couldn't see it. They don't have any cap space. They have no cap space.
Oh, maybe he'll come play with Chicago.
Yeah,
we'll give you Brent Seabrook.
Right. Okay.
And a bag of pucks.
And a bag of, I think I take the bag of pucks over Brent Seabrook.
All right. Well, that's where we're gonna have to leave it when we come back.
We'll actually talk about the Vegas Golden Knights.
Exactly. Vegas and Winnipeg. Bye now. We'll break it down. On the penalty box, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Baseball is in full swing again here in Chicago, but there are still some unanswered questions for both teams on either side of town. Fans of the White Sox are asking when their highly touted prospects will be called up from the minors for reinforcements, and Cubs fans are wondering if their team can keep a long winning streak and stay on top of the NL Central. Join Tim and Ben on the Nightcap every Monday night from 9 to 10 p.m. as they discuss those questions and much more in the world of sports. Only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Join Ryan Christopherson and Dimitri Big Meech Veros in Santa Maria!
Whoa, Ryan, wait. Is that blasphemous?
Nah, man, we're cool. At least I think we're cool.
Well, I'll tell you, the real sin would be not tuning into Deep in the Dugout every Monday from 2 to 4 on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where we talk Sox, Cubs, and everything around this great God-given league.
That's Deep in the Dugout on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's springtime in Chicago, and you know what that means?
Free beer! Free beer, 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 beer!
No, not that. It means that here on the Fans Corner, we are going to get you ready for some football as the NFL season is right around the corner. Also, we're going to talk about the MLB season. But lastly, here on the Fans Corner, we're going to be introducing a new staple segment, Pro Wrestling Recap. So please join us on Friday afternoons from 2 to 4 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Hey Kanye, how do you feel about our new name, Down in Front?
You crazy, dude.
So is that a no or yes?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Kanye.
You're welcome.
Tune in to Down in Front every Wednesday from 2 to 4 p.m. with Ryan Christopherson and Kenya Collins on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Whoop-dee-dee, scoop-poop.
Saturday on Deck. Find out who will be the beast in the East and the best in the West in the NBA Conference Finals. Meet Charles Ritchie, Sid the Kid, and Corey Barber. Also, who hosts Lord Stanley's Cup. And also Cousin Sox baseball coverage.
Change the channel, Marge.
So make sure to tune in to On Deck every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
I've been in the radio and broadcasting business a long time, more than 3 decades, and I thought, if I spread my knowledge and shared what I know about the business with a lot of young minds, maybe I could get some of those people involved. And my dad talked to schools, and I thought I could do that too, and I could do it all in one place at Illinois Media School. I've been having a great time. I tell everybody I'm learning as much from the students as they learn from me. I am Eddie Volkman, and I am IMS.
Hello. Family box.
Hello.
All right. So, God, are you repeating me? Are we gonna do this right now?
Repeating.
No.
Okay.
Quiet.
I'm
Quiet.
Okay, I'm waiting.
All right. So the Western Conference Finals in full swing. Finally, it seemed like round 2 was going to go on forever, and now that we have Vegas and Winnipeg in a gridlock battle, it seems like these days. Series is tied 1-1, and Nico, your jersey's ugly. Would you care to add to that?
How can you call this jersey ugly? I know you like this jersy.
No, it's really ugly.
He told me of many. You know your jersey's fake. It has the NHL thing on backwards.
No, it doesn't.
I made you look.
Shut up. It's not like. Who are you?
All right. Well, tell me about Vegas and the Winnipeg Jets. What do you like the series? Is this series everything you've wanted?
I am okay with it. I wanted Winnipeg over Nashville. That happened. I actually have Winnipeg winning the cup.
Man, do you know how many people have freaked out about Winnipeg being in the conference finals, but then totally forget that Ottawa did it last year? Like, you realize a Canadian team has been in the conference finals last year.
That's amazing to me.
Like, 2 years in a row, 2 Canadian. Well, not really amazing. I mean, there's 7 of them. But, like, realistically, like, people are just freaking out. Like, there was a whole article written about how Winnipeg has had the longest Canadian. Like, they were giving this whole bunch of stats about how this is the first Canadian team to make it to the conference finals, and then someone just, like, debunked it underneath it in the comments and was like, did you forget about Ottawa?
Well, I think everybody forgot about Ottawa. They were... Is it fair to say, and I don't want to get too off topic here.
Okay.
But is it fair to say that Ottawa was a fluke?
Really? I mean, that's like saying Vegas is a fluke. Like,
well, we'll find that out next year. We'll find out next year.
I don't think they were a fluke. I just feel like they were a victim of their own success. Like, everyone was really like, oh, they were 1 goal away. Ooh, the whole team will be this amazing run again. I mean, no, last year, I mean, I guess kind of a fluke, but I feel like storylines of the team was just, Bobby Ryan was having an amazing playoff for some reason. They had a couple weak teams that they played in the playoffs to begin with, and just purely the fact that what's their coach's name? Bobby Boucher. I think his name is Boucher. It's definitely not Bobby Boucher.
Steve Boucher.
Steve Boucher. But yeah, no, his system is just such a dry offensive system to play, and just the fact they don't have the personnel to keep playing that nonstop year after year, and a lot of people found out how to break it, which is why he was out of the NHL for so long. And then they traded for Duchesne, and Duchesne, it was pretty much an irrelevant trade to trade Turris for Duchesne.
Actually, they both equally suck. So
yeah, I mean they don't equally.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, one was in the second round, one was out of the playoffs since November. So yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, it's realistic, but yeah, no, I don't think I think they were just a victim of their own success. Like, their GM was even like, "Oh, we made it to the conference finals, and ooh, we're so good," and then they weren't. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I guess. Well, okay. So now getting into this actual series, Vegas versus Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
Winnipeg's on home ice for the first game, and they thoroughly dominated the Vegas Golden Knights. Did you watch this game?
That was Friday, right?
I don't remember. It was one of those days.
One
of those days of the week.
No, I think it might have been Saturday. But no, I did not, because you decided to be mean and say, "Oh, the NHL playoffs are on, and you're watching."
Oh yeah. Keep in mind, guys, this guy does a hockey radio show, and he wasn't watching hockey. He was watching police brutality.
Let's not even go there. Let's not even go there.
He's watching a show about cops.
Well, I find it funny, like, you decided to ask me, like, so what exactly is this show? And then I tell you, and then you don't respond. I was like, well, whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't going to.
Whatever. I mean,
it seems boring.
No, it's actually very, very fun and exciting.
Just like hockey is. And we're going back there.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, I watched the game. Vegas didn't know how to make a pass in this game at all. You got the highlights, I assume, though. Like,
yes,
the whole freaking game was Vegas trying to throw their puck from their blue line or their red line and just getting intercepted like nonstop. It's like, dudes, it didn't work the first 3 times. Why you keep doing this?
Because it's the definition of insanity.
Why you keep doing this to yourself?
No, I'm not. And this one over here decides to say, "Man, did Vegas forget how to hockey?"
They did. They literally looked like they didn't know how to skate. Like Marchessault, Carlson, and Riley Smith line was horrible that first period. Like they kept, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, hey, let's make a pass in the middle of the neutral zone. There's obviously a person there, but maybe we can make it. And they just kept doing it nonstop. It was like you're beating your head against a brick wall, man. Just carry the puck up. That's all you had to do because they were playing a 1-1-3 pretty much in the neutral zone, which is one attacker, one in the neutral zone, 3 defenders holding the line. It was just you're not making it through that because they're gonna close in on you. So you either gotta dump it in or you carry it.
Yeah.
By dumping it because that's the only way you're getting in. It was just nonstop turnovers. I think in that game they had, which is a playoff high, they had like 33 turnovers in that game, which is absolutely nuts. The last time Vegas hasn't done that.
All right.
The whole time they've existed. The most turnovers they had was 10 in this playoffs. But in general, it was just a very it was a weird game. I felt like Winnipeg didn't really have to do a lot. Like they coasted to a win. They got 3 early goals. Shifley and Byfuglien both got a goal and an assist. Wheeler had 3 assists in that game as well.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Did you see that Byfuglien goal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where was Riley Smith on that? By the way, like
I don't know.
It was another goal. Riley Smith was so bad in that game. Like he was horrible. I don't know what he would. Did he not realize? Oh, there's a game today. Oh, maybe I should think about hockey. Bring my stick. Got my skates. Wear my jersey. Where am I at? Like, dude. Like you had. Where was he at? Like so. Shifley comes to the zone, drops the puck to Byfuglien. Who the puck was there for a solid like 3 seconds. Riley Smith was like looking. He was like looking at the wall, and it was like, "Yo, turn around and poke the puck." And Byfuglien just teased it up for the first goal of the game. It was just absolutely nuts. And then
that wasn't even a challenge. And then you have Marchessault. No, I'm just kidding.
It hurts my head every time he says Marchessault. Like, dude,
it's Marchessault, and even I know that.
Marchessault, like, somebody tell. I think his name is Joe Micheletti. Somebody tell Joe Micheletti, please make this a hashtag. Please, Joe. Hashtag Joe. Please tell Joe.
And it's like other players in the NHL that they can't pronounce either. Like when they say Hjalmarsson, it's Hjalmarsson.
It's not Hjalmarsson?
Yeah, it's Hjalmarsson.
I thought the H was silent.
It's Hjalmarsson. Hjalmarsson.
All right, well, at least it's not as bad as calling William Karlsson, Erik Karlsson nonstop. So,
you know what
yeah. He goes into the neutral zone. Oh, here comes Eric Carlson with those great legs speeding up the ice, and it's like, dude, stop. And then he'll say, sorry, it's not Eric. I meant William.
Oh my,
William. He does it again 2 seconds later. It's like, ah.
If anything, just call him Wild Bill. Just be like, Wild Bill for the neutral zone.
Oh yeah, go get Wild Bill coming on, coming on up here. Oh yeah.
Is that what they do in Toronto?
Yeah, we say y'all and we say yeah, you.
I'm just saying.
Yo. Yeah, but
I don't do that.
All right, well, that first game was pretty brutal. I know in the post game interview, Gerard Gallant was like, "Well, you need 20 players to win, and 20 players didn't show up for my team today." So, and somebody was like, "Oh well, did you know Fleury has actually given up? He's given up 3 goals in his last 4 playoff games, but still boasts the best save percentage and goals against."
Well, what does that say about the rest of the league?
That you are below Fleury. Fleury watches over all of you. He does it himself. No, but even in Dragland, I was like, well, you like the goals that were given to him though, like 3 of them, like 3 out of the 4 goals were deflections in front, and nobody was covering Bufflin on that one, but the rest of them were all deflections. But Winnipeg did just coast to a 4-2 win.
Nobody can cover Bufflin.
Ryan Reeves can.
Ryan
Reeves. Those guys are. Bufflin's not going to do it. Ryan Reeves may try and fight somebody.
Dude,
but
Bufflin would destroy Ryan Reeves.
You think so?
Yes.
Because you're a hater.
No.
He's on St. Louis. I know that's where you're basing it off of.
No.
Have you seen Ryan Reeves in a fight?
Yeah, he's a goon.
Have you seen Bufflin in a fight?
Kind of.
No. You've never seen Bufflin in a fight?
I've seen Bufflin throw people around, my friend.
He can throw people around, but when it comes down to actually punching something, he can't. No. If Ryan Reeves and Bufflin got into a fight, Ryan Reeves would pummel him to a bloody mess on the ice.
Have you seen Rocky IV?
No.
Okay. You haven't?
No.
Okay, so for our listeners.
Is that the Russian thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
so basically, the Russian would be like Bufflin.
If he died,
Apollo Creed would be Ryan Reeves, and that's basically what would happen.
It's racist.
If he dies, he dies.
No. All right. Well, I guess that died.
That's gonna happen.
It died quickly. Well, I guess ending notes on that game. It was just after. I feel like the Vegas Golden Knights really had a situation of just feeling like, oh, we probably should have showed up and we didn't show up. We gave them one. The next game, we're going to come out and win.
Which they did.
They definitely did. They came out and were a very good team.
Marchessault had a couple goals. Tatar had a goal.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about Game 2 and the rest of the series after the break. We still got 30 seconds.
Oh, we do? All right. Go. Ever.
Really?
NHL history.
Well, we have to play for Pittsburgh and go to the playoffs.
All right, can you name any of the goalies that are before or after him?
No, you're wrong. Tuukka Rask?
Wrong.
You said
not active. Not active.
Oh, not
active. Well, in general, NHL history.
Patrick Roy?
No, he's like first.
Well, you said before him or after him.
I'm talking about. Say he's 9th overall. Who's the 10th? All right. Well, okay. You didn't name any of them. Okay, go ahead. Well, yes, Patrick Roy. Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say Patrick Roy.
Okay.
Patrick Roy.
Okay.
Chris Osgood.
Yes. He's actually 7th.
Glenn Hall.
I think he's 4th. I want to say 4th. Okay.
Tony Esposito.
No.
Wrong. Kidding. All right. Definitely none of the Leafs players.
Correct.
Hi-yo. All right. We're
breaking it down.
That died more quickly than your broadcasting career. All right. So yeah.
How's it going? My name is Edgar Barr, and I'm very grateful for all
will help you prepare for a career in just 8 months. And financial aid is available for those who qualify. So what are you waiting for? Call the Illinois Media School at 312-884-8000, 312-884-8000, or visit the website at beonair.com.
Every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m., Flow, CB,
Fine. Cubs on. Jose Quintana took the loss. Brian and Elmore Jr. both homer for the Northsiders. Cubs will play Atlanta in Atlanta tonight to start off the series with the Braves. Yu Darvish is on the mound as he looks for his first win as a Cub. First pitch comes at 6:35. Vegas evened up their Western Conference Final Series with the Winnipeg Jets last night with a 3-1 win. Jonathan Marchessault had a pair of goals. Tatar also netted one in the win. Game 3 is Wednesday night in Vegas. And the Washington Capitals look to put the Tampa Bay Lightning on the brink of elimination. Game 3 is tonight. And if Washington comes out on top, they will have a 3-0 series lead in the Eastern Conference Final and be within one win of the Stanley Cup Final. Puck drop is at 7. This update is also brought to you by Chicago. May 25th when they take on the Kansas City T-Bones at 7:05 p.m. For tickets, visit thechicagodogs.com. I'm the Goon, and you're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to roast you.
Let's go.
Okay. Blackhawks suck. Who are their prospects?
Really? Okay.
Who are their prospects?
who doesn't know what the heck they're talking about. I don't.
He's cannon fodder. He's not even there. He doesn't even exist. He's not. It's not a prospect. Not a prospect.
Okay, you're acting like I said Cody Franzen.
Cody. Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Okay.
Cody Franz is 1 year old. A minute ago.
Okay. But that's not. Sakura. Yeah, Sakura, as the Ice Hogs like to call him.
I'll give you the prospect, yes.
Now,
These are prospects. These are like old men. I would say, okay. So what's your prospect? Like a draft prospect? That's not a prospect at all, man. Like it's not.
If they're in the farm system, they're a prospect.
Yeah, but he's all right.
He's not
signed with Ottawa, and they put him on waivers.
Okay.
And he was put in
change of scenery changes everything, my friend.
He's 29 years old. He's not. Where's the guy? Where did he play? He played with Boston and played with the Rockford Ice Hawks the last. He's played with them a long time, actually. He played with the Rockford Ice. Oh, he was with the Blackhawks. He was a prospect before. And then he went to the Blackhawks for 4 games, was waived, went to Vancouver, was waived, and then went to Pittsburgh, was waived, and then he went to the Oilers, Rangers, Coyotes, and now back with.
Well, you're saying the farm system sucks.
All right, who else is on there? So you have a 25-year-old prospect. You have a 29-year-old prospect. Who else is there?
You got Colin Delia.
He's not a prospect, man. That's not a
Victor Edsel.
That's not a prospect. Okay, he is a prospect. Yes.
Thank you. See,
one. You got one.
There you go. Now,
hold on.
Now you're willing to it. Now you're.
He's 22.
Okay.
Edsel is 22. Yes. Okay. You got that guy.
Matthew Highmore, David Camp. Shall I go on?
Yeah, but they're not good.
How? What do you mean they're not good?
At the AHL level, yes.
How are
Blackhawks ranked number 22 in prospects out of 31. Now, how would I rank prospects by actual stats and how well they've actually done in the AHL system? How are you gonna? I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the fact.
Sorry, I'm sorry that not everyone could be like Toronto or Edmonton and draft people that are just NHL ready right away.
It's not bad, but it's just the fact.
No, that's pretty much what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that you can't count. I'm saying like, okay, 23 and younger would be a prospect. Now your prospect, like, you think Sakura is gonna be? You think he's going to the NHL next year?
Maybe not next year, but
so when he's 27.
Well, wait, Dylan or Tyler?
Tyler.
Okay, because Dylan has already been up there.
Okay, yeah, and he's done nothing.
You're expecting these guys to do something in like 4 games.
If you're gonna call them a prospect, they're not prospects. You do not have a good prospect pool as the Blackhawks. They do not have a good prospect pool.
Explain why the Ice Hawks are so good then.
Because they're a bunch of old, experienced players that are out there.
Really?
Really?
No, I think
you have, dude.
No, you're just in.
Tutu plays on there. Tutu's on
He's on IR, but that's neither here nor there.
All right. Well, you have him 30. You have him 35. Jeff Glass 32. Cody Franzen 30. Actually, Domenico's actually turning 30 next week. So 2 30-year-olds in Domenico and Franzen. Lance Boma's 29. Martinsen's 28. Martinsen is 28. What I'm saying is,
but it doesn't mean that they don't have guys that they can call up to the NHL.
But you're saying you have a really deep prospect pool. They do not. It's not a deep prospect pool. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting out there. It's pure fact. And
that's your opinion.
And the fact that you're telling me that Domenico's a prospect, you're wrong. It's not a prospect. Anybody will tell you that a guy who's 29 years old is not a prospect. Oh,
whatever. Okay, so enough of that. You clearly you talk, you don't hear. All right, let's get back into Vegas game
talk
2.
I don't hear.
Yeah, Let's talk Vegas. Let's talk NHL Stanley Cup playoffs here.
An actual good team.
Right. So Vegas obviously comes out in game 1, doesn't know how to play hockey. Game 2, they get Jonathan Marchessault going. They get Tatar going. Fleury breaks back into old Fleury and is a solid brick wall. Do you think that should give Vegas some confidence going into game 3?
Well, I think in game number 2, they found the hockey. They found how to play hockey. They realized, hey, we're here for a reason. We're not gonna just sit down and let Winnipeg beat us up. And they cleaned up the neutral zone play for sure. And that's what the whole thing was. Like in the first game, Winnipeg was really covering up Fleury's eyesight. Just his sight lines in general. And they were getting in front of the net, and Vegas wasn't really able to push him aside. During the second game, Fleury was really able to see all these pucks, and they were making it really easy for him to make all these saves. And just purely the fact that when you have a cleaner neutral zone, a cleaner breakouts, and when you're not turning over the puck 32 times in a game, you're gonna have more success. And just looking at how well Winnipeg actually, or how well Vegas was able to push Winnipeg back, and the majority of the time Winnipeg was playing defense a lot in this game, which means if you're not playing offense, you're playing defense. And the only breakdown I would say is that Vegas needs to worry about is their penalty kill, because that power play of Winnipeg is executing at a high rate in this series so far. But going into game 3, I would have to say that, or at least I would think that Vegas has the upper hand here. I think Vegas is going to win this in 6.
I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Okay.
All right. And it's not because I hate Vegas and I'm a hater.
You're a hater.
No, I'm saying that because Winnipeg has guys on their team. And I guess you could make the argument for both teams that they have guys with playoff experience. Because, let's see, Vegas has James Neal.
Fleury.
They have Tatar, Fleury.
I wouldn't really count Tatar. Tatar was relevant in the playoffs that he had with Detroit. He's still relevant in these playoffs. Oh, did you know that he switched with David Perron in the second game? He hasn't played since San Jose. How? I think that's the only dumbest thing that Vegas had done this whole season was trade for Tatar. You don't need that guy. Why would you trade a first, a second, and a third for this player?
Maybe they thought they had too many draft picks. They just wanted to get here. Let's spread the wealth around a little bit.
They had too many prospects.
Yeah, and their prospects got swept in the first round of the AHL playoffs last time I checked.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Well, they are mixed with St. Louis, so I guess you could hate on them too, right?
Well, kind of.
That's why you're not a Wolves fan.
No.
You hate St. Louis.
Hey, that's all right. St. Louis didn't show up for the playoffs this year either.
You're right.
Local handing out free drinks for St. Louis playoff games this year.
Of course they were. That's funny.
But yeah, I love this series. Not only are there really big hits, as we've seen, to start out the series, I don't know that this series is going to be Vegas in 6, though.
Oh, how weird!
I'm saying Winnipeg in 7.
Are you?
I think it's going to be a Winnipeg Vegas will win Game 6, and then it'll go to Game 7
in Winnipeg. Well, Winnipeg's had trouble actually playing at home.
I know.
They've lost out of the last 4 home games. They've lost 3 of them. So I don't think home advantage is really an advantage for Winnipeg. Vegas wins home or away, so it doesn't really make a difference. I think the biggest advantage for both teams, because 5-on-5 they both shown that they could dominate. I think it was kind of like, here's how long my stick is, here's how long your stick is, and now we're gonna compare. I'm talking about like an actual long stick. Why are you looking at
I know, just the way you said that.
I'm just saying that's how it's looking like, and they both realize, oh hey, we're both the same size. Now we gotta. Okay, you're right. This is kind of weird.
Wow. Rock.
All right. Well, you get what
our community. I'm sorry.
they gotta make.
And what do the special teams do?
Oh yeah, they do a lot. You gotta show what makes you different from the rest.
Oh my. We're talking about hockey here on the penalty box.
What do I talk? I'm sorry, children.
I'm sorry for the
Turn your heads.
I'm sorry for the 50 Shades of Grey erotica it seems to be going on right now.
All right, well, you all special teams is what's going to make the difference here. Vegas's flaunted penalty kill has really well through the first two rounds, the penalty kill for Vegas was a big strong point for them. And in this Winnipeg series, it's just been blowing through the walls. Can you talk? You talk. I don't want to talk anymore.
I'm just kidding. No, run out for Vegas. I think after round 2, it's not necessarily the case, but they have the penalty kill. They cannot just allow. I almost just said Buffalo. Winnipeg to just walk all over them on the power play. And, that's the thing is that it seems like with Vegas, it's one or two guys scoring their goals.
I don't know about that. I mean,
Your
Marshall
voice
Salt's
just cracked.
I went.
No. I mean, and, good for Tatar, though, to score a goal after after the first game of the series.
Right.
It happens.
Right on. And just real quick, just on the flip side of it, how good has Winnipeg's power play really been?
Right?
Like how great are they? They're just moving the puck and they're doing cross creases.
They've been tough.
Yeah. Rock hard. Well, Patrick Laine, man, he's just getting some shots in there. He's getting in deep, and he's just penetrating that defense of Vegas.
Rubbing guys off the puck.
He's rubbing them off. He's just so good.
All right. Before we get kicked off. Come back.
Time to kick off your career in radio and TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School.
Hello. We kind of left you in a weird place, so I apologize.
Now we're going to talk about another weird thing where the Caps are up 2-0 in a Eastern Conference.
No.
I gave up on them. I was telling somebody over the weekend, I was like, I've liked the Caps for so long that like I just gave up on them after last year.
And then they actually succeed now.
It's like that girlfriend that you want to like, and you really like, you loved her at one point, and you guys broke up, and now she's back and she's doing everything that you asked her to do, but now you're like, I don't like you anymore, but she's doing all the right things. You know what I'm saying?
Are you that heartless?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Depends on how bad she broke your heart, man.
Yeah, well, she did for 20 years. Well, actually, since 74. So, yeah, a long time. lots of years.
Sounds like a lot of Eastern Conference teams, but
yeah.
You know, they get their hopes up year in and year out. That's the nice thing about, you know, having your team win a couple in your lifetime is that, you know, you're kind of content. Not satisfied, so to speak. Like you always want more. You always want more, and you always want to see them do well. But, you know, if they go 5 or 7 years without winning one, it's kind of like, you know, okay, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I would be content if the Leafs won. You know how content I would be? I'd be so content.
If they won 3 in 6 years, would you be content?
I would be very content.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I would just be done. I'd say, all right.
I mean,
I would move on to a different sport.
You know, when you go 51 years without winning a Stanley Cup, and trust me, I kind of know what that's like. You know, my Blackhawks went 49 years without winning one. I don't even know where we're going with this, but you know, you think about it with Tampa. Tampa hasn't won it since
2004.
2004. Yeah, it was 03-04, and then the lockout happened for a year. So technically, they were defending Stanley Cup.
Toronto would have won that cup in 05. They
let it go.
They had such a stick.
It's not. That wasn't even remotely going to happen.
Yeah, the stick.
But you think about it. So Tampa was 04. Washington never. Vegas obviously never. Winnipeg. We'll just go with never.
They won the.
But it's not the same team.
Yeah, I guess
they came back. It's the Jets times 2. Or the Jets Junior, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess it's nice to see that we're actually going to have 2 new teams in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I'm not really not a fan of Pittsburgh, but no, I mean I think it would have been cool to see Pittsburgh win again. I would have liked it.
Hey, no.
I mean I'm a Phil fan. I'm a Phil Kessel fan, so I like Phil, so I was rooting for him.
Have you heard of the Stably Cup on Facebook? All right, it's like one of those like they like animate things and make memes.
Okay.
And so there's like a picture of like Ovechkin, like a drawing of Ovechkin talking to Stamkos, and Kessel's got the broom and he's like, "Hey, don't tell him about the fountain of hot dogs that I have sitting there waiting for me." Something like really funny like that. I don't know, but yeah, it's gonna be nice, and hopefully we get a Cinderella story Stanley Cup final.
Well, either way, I mean, Vegas wins. It's the first expansion team to win a cup. First year team winning a cup. That's a storyline in itself. Winnipeg, first Canadian team to win it since 1993. Tampa Bay, I don't really know. They've made it to the conference final 4 times and Stanley Cup final once in the Stamkos era. And they haven't won it yet, so I guess that's a story in itself. No one's really talked about how many times Stamkos has made it there, and just purely the fact that he hasn't won it yet, and he's been to the conference finals 4 times, and the Stanley Cup once and lost. Like everyone's like, "Oh, Ovi." I know, I understand Ovi winning a cup would be phenomenal, and I'll get to that in a second. But just purely the fact that Stamkos has been there so many times, they've had stacked teams every single time they went to the conference finals or even the Stanley Cup, and they haven't won it.
You know who they lost to in the Cup final, right?
Yes, I know. But like in 2011, you know who they had in net for the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Mike Smith.
Dwayne Rolison.
Oh,
That guy.
I don't even.
They had him in that, and they had Mark Recchi, who had just won. Who actually, no, he lost in those playoffs. He went to Boston the next year. Actually, sorry. Either way, they had a stacked team. Martin St. Louis, Lecavier, Stamkos, like nutsness. They had Simon Gagné. Awesome. Yeah, I love that guy. I love that guy. He only played one season with Tampa Bay, but anyway, that guy's amazing. But anyway, they had a stacked team. Lost to Boston in the conference finals. Then they won again in against the Blackhawks. Then they won again the next year after that. Lost to Pittsburgh, and then this year it looks like they might lose in the conference finals to Washington. Which
let me ask you a question. If you're the general manager, and I believe that's Steve Yzerman, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Steve, wow.
How much longer does this go on before you blow up the team?
I don't know if they're at that point. I mean, you missed the playoffs last year. They make an amazing trade, Drew N, for Sergachev.
That was a steal.
It's a phenomenal trade. You have a young core. I mean, Stamkos is 28. Kucherov is 25, I think. Palat's 26. Hedman's 27. Sergachev is 20 years old.
Girardi's like 40.
40, yeah. I mean, McDonough has another year signed.
And then you have Vasilevsky,
24.
He's third or fourth year in the league.
Yeah, so
you have
you're
pieces.
You're not gonna blow up that team.
You have pieces.
Soon.
I'm just saying, maybe go out and try and get another superstar.
That's what I mean. But no one's talking about the disappointment of Tampa. Everyone's like, "Oh, trophies winner. Oh, 5 years," but they haven't won the cup. I think that's the lower. That's a hot take. That the disappointment of Tampa losing in this conference final. It's not that they missed the playoffs and they make it again. They're such a good team. It's more the fact that in the Stamkos era, they made the 4 conference finals, lost 3 of them, and won Stanley Cup final and lost it.
That's ridiculous.
It's a purely fact that they just haven't won it. And now going to the Washington side, you have Washington, who's now up 2-0, looking for that 3-0 series lead. Purely the fact, it was kind of funny. I saw something that was, the Capitals are scoring a decade's worth of Eastern Conference goals in one series. How good is Ovechkin? Like any haters that he has accumulated over the years have probably been just smashed with this playoff performance that he has.
Has been just really, really good. Go back to a game a couple nights ago, and even before that, I mean, obviously, Ovechkin was the one who made the pass to Kuznetsov to ultimately kill Pittsburgh's chances of a three-peat.
Yep.
I just.
Oh, yeah.
And the Capitals, and the fact that nobody is really giving them a chance outside of diehard Capitals fans, who we've seen.
I think people have
crazy.
Started to come back. I feel like a lot of people have been like, "Okay, you're back." All those fans from last year have been really coming back with that.
Stop being so salty.
Yeah. So I don't know. Did you know? Quick fun fact. Ovechkin, he has 8 multi-point games this postseason.
Wow.
He's only 1 away from tying Gretzky in 1988 for 9 multi-point games.
And think if Washington makes the Cup final, he could pass that.
Him and Scheifele. Scheifele actually has, I think, 7 or 8 as well, if I'm doing my math right.
That's why it needs to be Winnipeg versus Washington.
I would have so much hurt if Washington goes and loses in that final. Like, I don't think my heart could take that. I don't think people realize that either.
Yeah.
Washington makes it, loses in the final. Like, oh, my heart.
But yeah. All right. Well, that's where we're gonna leave this segment right here. When we come back for our short segment, we're gonna be doing something.
We're gonna be player trivia.
Oh. Send you on your way for the day. All right. We'll be back. This is the Penalty Box, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
I'm Nikos Michaels, and it's 3:30 p.m. with your Chicagoland Sports Radio.com update. Brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on careers in broadcasting, go to beonair.com. Yesterday, the Braves and the Cubs faced off at Wrigley Field, with the Cubs having bases loaded at the bottom of the ninth, but just coming up short to lose the game 6-5. The Cubs will be back on tonight in Atlanta to face the Braves at 6 p.m. Over the weekend, on the south side, the Sox dropped 2 of 3 in the crosstown series versus the Cubs. The Sox are facing the Pittsburgh Pirates with first pitch at 6:05 at PNC Park. Last time the Sox faced the Pirates, they dropped both at home. In the NHL playoffs, the conference finals have started with the Vegas Golden Knights and Jets splitting one game each as series goes back to Vegas with a 1-1 tie. Tonight, the Eastern Conference finals continue as Washington looks to take a 3-0 series lead versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. This update is also brought to you by Chicago Dogs Baseball. The home opener for the inaugural season will be May 25th when they take on the Kansas City T-Bones at 7:05 p.m. For tickets, visit thechicagodogs.com. I'm Nikos Michaels, and you're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio, where it's not just sports, it's a way of life.
All right. Back here on the penalty box. Thank you, as always, Hot Take Nikos, for your wonderful sports updates. You always want to give me crap about mine, but hey, it's not as easy as it looks, is it?
I mean, this is my first time doing it, so I mean.
Well, whose fault is that?
I mean, how many times have you done it?
Whose fault is that?
How many times have you done it?
I don't care. Whose fault is it? Whose fault is that?
Like, for the last 6 months, I do it first time today, and you're still messing up.
Well, that's where you got to. No, you.
Okay. So, if you're wondering what we're doing, this is player trivia. I'm gonna give James here a couple stats on a player, and he's gonna try and guess who it is. This player played in the Czech Republic. Okay.
All right.
He played there for 10 years before he finally got his break with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Jeff Glass.
No.
Nikolai Hobby.
I'm not done yet. Oh. All right, so since you guessed that.
Okay.
No. All right, played 10 years in the Czech Republic. Played actually 1 year in the IHL before jumping on for the Blackhawks for 2 seasons.
What year?
In 1992. You'll know him. So he was actually put on waivers to the Buffalo Sabres. He played there for 1, 2, 3, 4. He played there for 8 years.
And I'm sorry, what position is he?
Goalie.
At Belfour?
No.
Murray Bannerman.
No. He played for 8 years for the Buffalo Sabres. Went to Detroit. Won a
Dominic
cup.
Hasek.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding,
All right,
ding.
thank you. Thank you.
What did you say?
I'm just kidding. I think I said Murray Bannerman. I don't know.
Said Ed Belfour for 10 years in the Czech Republic. What? No, you don't.
Sure.
All right, guess. Give me one.
Okay, so Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Scored a goal in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final as a rookie.
What year?
2013.
Brandon Saad.
There you go. But that's okay. All right.
Oh wait, I got another one. How much time did we get left?
We're over, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, okay.
No.
Okay, he's the son of a former Blackhawk. He played for the Flames. He was drafted by the Flames. Played for the Blues. Played for the Stars, the Wings, and the Phoenix Coyotes.
Son of a former Blackhawk.
Son of a former Blackhawk, played for the Flames for 2 seasons, made his name with the Blues. He made a dynamic duo with Oates, Adam Oates, and won his cup with the Red Wings, and also the Dallas Stars as well. Won cup with the Stars and the Red Wings, and 99 when they won, and then 2002 with the.
You're going way too far back.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Fame player.
Darren Pang.
No.
I'm just kidding.
You really don't know?
Eddie Olczyk.
Fred Hall.
Oh. That is no.
Made it. Hall. No. We haven't played franchise mode in NHL enough.
Clearly not.
Give me my sports.
Okay, so when we come back, we're going to be talking about we'll finish up talking about the Capitals and Tampa series.
Okay.
Shut up. .com.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Baseball is in full swing again here in Chicago, but there are still some unanswered questions for both teams on either side of town. Fans of the White Sox are asking when their highly touted prospects will be called up from the minors for reinforcements, and Cubs fans are wondering if their team can keep a long winning streak and stay on top of the NL Central. Join Tim and Ben on the Nightcap every Monday night from 9 to 10 p.m. as they discuss those questions and much more in the world of sports. Only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Join Ryan Christopherson and Dimitri Big Meat Veros in Santa Maria!
Whoa. Ryan, wait. Is that blasphemous?
Nah, man, we're cool. At least I think we're cool.
Well, I'll tell you, the real sin would be not tuning into Deep in the Dugout every Monday from 2 to 4 on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where we talk Sox, Cubs, and everything around this great God-given league.
That's Deep in the Dugout on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
It's springtime in Chicago, and you know what that means.
Free beer! Free beer, 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 beer!
No, not that. It means that here on the Fans Corner, we are going to get you ready for some football as the NFL season is right around the corner. Also, we're going to talk about the MLB season thus far. And if you're worried, we're not going to talk about the NBA playoffs. But lastly, here on the Fans Corner, we're going to be introducing a new staple segment, Pro Wrestling Recap. So please join us on Friday afternoons from 2 to 4 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Don Leonard with the most action-packed 2 hours on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, the Fight Week Report. Every Tuesday, listen in as we bring you all the news happening around the world of MMA. Interviews from UFC, national and regional fighters, and coaches have become a staple of our show. Me and Rick Sanchez are also talking about the absurdities in the sport as well. Listen live Tuesday at 12 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
I mean, look at this. Twisted Steel and American Sex Appeal, baby. I mean, like...
Hello, everyone. Kevin Tregoning here. Tune in the K-Trey Show every Monday night from 7 to 9, only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, as myself and my new partner, Rob the B-Flex, breaks down the Stanley Cup and NBA Finals, as well as keep you up to date with everything happening with both your Chicago teams. And, of course, every week we finish with a little wrestling talk. So tune in the K-Trey Show every Monday night from 7 to 9, only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
I've been in the radio and broadcasting business a long time, more than 3 decades, and I thought, if I spread my knowledge and shared what I know about the business with a lot of young minds, maybe I could get some of those people involved. And my dad talked to schools, and I thought I could do that too, and I could do it all in one place at Illinois Media School. I've been having a great time. I tell everybody I'm learning as much from the students as they learn from me. I am Eddie Volkman, and I am IMS.
All right.
I think Nico's actually got most of them.
I love doing trivia.
I know,
love
right?
this stuff. It's so fun.
And we were talking about for a second, and how nobody knows that, like, when he was drafted in '99 by the Dallas Stars, why their team actually traded him.
Yeah, their owner was racist, and they said it was because of his skating, but the guy was already scoring so many in juniors, so I mean, it was that, and then it came out after that their owner was not on the good side, and ended up trading him, and we all know how Jerome McGinley's career came out, and that sucks that they traded him for that.
Yeah, I hear you.
He was drafted in '95.
I'm sorry, you're right.
1995.
You're right.
I am always.
No, you're not right always. Shut up.
Oh, no, it was legit. So this guy, Jerome McGinley, 93-94. He had 29 points in 48 games. That was his first year in the WHL. Second year, 33 goals, 38 assists, 78 points, 72 games. The next season, 40 games played, 63 goals, 73 assists, 136 points.
In 40 games?
Yeah.
So he averaged like 3.5 points per game?
Yeah, he was drafted and then traded.
Wow.
Yep. So.
What a shame.
Yep. I'm not really sure why. You drafted contract flown to. Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, all right.
What's going to be even more sad is when Tampa Bay goes home in 4.
In 4. Okay. We're doing I think the dominance that all right, so Tampa has been outscored 10-4 in these 2 games. The first game, of course, I wore all Tampa Bay Lightning gear, and I went out that night wearing all Tampa Bay Lightning gear, and Washington beat them to a bloody pulp. But good for me, I pulled out my lucky Washington Capitals hat and I put it on that night.
So you were wearing a Washington Capitals hat with a Tampa Bay Lightning gear.
I was.
Where were you?
I was at a fine establishment. No, it was a Mother's Day weekend, so I went out with my grandma.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I was going to say, I don't believe you would get very many approving looks here in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, it was nothing. But, yeah, no, it was, I just think that the Washington Capitals just had this swagger about it. No, they're also playing without Backstrom.
Yeah, and
no Backstrom.
No.
He's not ruled out for tonight, but he's also not ruled in for tonight. So there's very big injury updates on him.
Real quick, let's go ahead and play the soundbite from Game 2.
Go
all right,
for it.
Let's play it from Game 2. Here we go on the penalty box.
It's kept along. They score! A touch by Niskanen from the point. And he is the guy positioned there now, and it comes to him. Fires one. That's not score! Stay close! There's Alex Chason. Feeds out the wing. Score! What a shot! Put away by Vasilevsky. Gotten there by Kuznetsov. Right in front. Score! Out by Holtby. Turning around behind. Right out in front of Holtby. 2 saves on point. And he's able to grab and hang on. My goodness.
Starts to the Washington Capitals. They will head home, leading this series 2-0. They are full worth for a.
All right, and that was.
I'm so confused. Another score. All right, well, there were scores there. Washington won Game 6-2, as you heard, 8 goals. Good thing they weren't all Tampa Bay goals, otherwise your ears would be dead.
Yeah, and worst goal horn in the league.
Oh, they're playing it.
Oh.
I know there's a way to play the TV.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Well, we were talking about AHL and we were talking about AHL, right? We'll just talk about playoffs in general. Well, in this in this Texas Stars game, the guy just shoots a puck at the guy's face, gets the rebound from the guy's face, and scores a goal. And it's wicked.
Oh my goodness!
I wish we could put it out. All right,
you know how we were talking about how the Lehigh Valley goalie,
okay, yes,
Alex Lyon, and how it must be nice to be able to make 95 saves in one game and catch your stats.
Yeah, well, that guy made one save from his face.
Hey, I'll give him credit for that. See that happening a lot.
That's brutal. All right, well, back to Washington. Sorry, guys. Washington. Going into this game 3? What do you think's going through Washington's head?
Don't mess up. You have a great thing going. Just play your game and just do what you've been doing. Hey, listen, Hopi has been playing lights out hockey. All right. They're getting to Vasilevsky. You have a good solid line in Ovechkin and Kuznetsov and whoever else has been playing on the line. Burakovsky, thank you.
Burakovsky. Phone a friend.
Thank you.
Phone a friend.
But I mean, I'm not saying Tampa Bay is completely out of it, but they got to do something. They got to find ways, and I don't know if it's harder on the forecheck, forcing turnovers in the defense, or
they got to get in front of Holtby. They have to get in front of Holtby. I know you want to score these pretty goals. I know your whole season has been pretty much dictated by the amazing plays that you guys make. But for the love of gosh, get in front of Holtby and just shoot it on net. Quit making the extra play. That's just the whole thing. The whole first 2 games have been Holtby being able to see all these pucks. And I guess that's a common theme with even in the Winnipeg Vegas series. It's 2 easy pucks being able to see being able to be seen by these goaltenders. It's ridiculous the amount of passes that Tampa will make that lead to absolutely nothing because Washington's not moving. They're not moving anywhere, and there's nobody in front of the net for Tampa to block and really get in front of the shots or even screen a lot. And all these shots are being seen by Holtby. And Holtby's looking as this amazing goaltender, but he's only allowed 4 goals in 2 games.
True. And I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. If you want to score goals, you got to go to the dirty areas.
Get in front of the net.
Pucks and people to the net. And I think John Cooper is going to tell his Tampa Bay Lightning that listen, hey, guys got to be harder on the puck. You guys have to go to the dirty areas. And ultimately, for them to try and take 2 games in Washington, I don't see it happening. Sure, they might take one of them.
Yeah.
But even so, it's 3-1 going back. Even if that's the case, it's 3-1 going back to Tampa.
I mean,
Tampa hasn't won at home at all in this series.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay fans decided to leave 7 minutes early.
Oh, did you see that picture about their fan party thing that they had going on in Tampa? Every team seems to be doing. I never saw this for the Blackhawks. Whenever they played like an outside fan party thing.
Okay, here's the thing with the Hawks. So they have their official road watch parties,
right?
And they go to like different bars.
Yeah,
and
they're
like
bars and stuff.
Screenings of
like
the
an
game.
To watch the game from out on that big screen that's out there in that parking lot area.
Ooh.
That'd be fun though. I would have went to a lot of those.
We're gonna have to reach out to the Blackhawks
that would
for
be
comment.
Fun. Well, I mean, if they make the playoffs again, but I got it. Yeah. So I don't think Ovechkin's gonna allow. But Ovechkin's been such a powerful figure in this in these playoffs so far, and just the game that he played last night. Or whenever their last game was.
Mm-hmm.
So they score. The Caps score the first goal. It's 1-0. Towards the end of the period, Kucherov scores this amazing, individual effort goal that's called off because of too many men on the ice. And I was pretty irate about it. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, how are you gonna? You're on a breakaway. How are you gonna allow 2? There's one guy that's on the ice on a breakaway." How did you guys not figure out there's 5 other people out there? Like who would what? How does that even happen? That's like the most easiest line change you could possibly make because you're not switching out all 5 guys. You're only switching out 4. So somebody didn't see it's such a
the only thing I can think of, and because I don't exactly remember the play off the top of my head, was Tampa Bay close to the bench when the player changed?
Dude, there's one guy on a breakaway. There's one guy watching the breakaway who's the other player, so you could see him. So 4 guys 2 guys went on, and 4 guys came off. It was the dumbest thing ever. I know it's a coaching error where you're telling players to go on, but at the same time, you should realize as a player, hey, there's one guy on the breakaway. There's 3 guys. It's simple math. If there's
if you've seen the blooper video,
that one? Well, it's not as bad as Ristolainen saying we have 4 games left going against Kadri, and Kadri's like, there's 3. Like he was counting. You saw that? Yeah. Well, anyway, we now know hockey players cannot count. But yeah, no.
To potato.
Right. So they get a penalty for too many men on the ice, and then Ovi scores a goal with 1.8 seconds left to make it 2-0. How different of a game is that game 2 if that's a goal and it's 1-1 going into the second period?
It's a different game. It's a very different game. It's a 2-goal swing essentially.
Exactly, and it took the air right out of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and you guys sit and think about that second goal going into the second period. That is the worst feeling in the world, getting scored on with 1 second left and knowing that you guys were up 1 or you guys were tied, and then that took all that away, and then you get scored on the power play.
Well, that's why you get drunk at the game, and then you don't have to remember anything.
Yeah, well, it seemed like they were drunk the rest of the game.
Yeah, Stamkos was doing shots of whatever.
Of missing the net. He's taking lots of shots, missing the net. It was kind of ridiculous. I don't know. I feel like the Lightning seemed to give up. There was 7. I know the Capitals were up 5-2, or I think it was 5-2 or 6-2 at the end of game 3. I'm not sure if they scored an empty netter, but it just seemed like the Lightning gave up with 10 minutes to go in the third.
And their fans saw it and they left.
I know. Well, dude, you have 10 minutes left in this game. You could potentially score 4 goals in these last 10 minutes. At least try. It was just a lackadaisical effort by the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I think that's on John Cooper, to get your team motivated. Hey, wake up, guys! I know they've scored goals, but wake up! You're still in a game.
Or even start swearing at your team.
It makes a difference. Start playing, man. And I think that lays on Stamkos's shoulders as well. You're the one leading the charge here. You're the one that's slumping around on the bench, looking like you've already lost the series. Come on.
And
wake up.
He's been there before.
Oh, yeah, right. We're talking about that too. How they've been in a hot take here where they've talked where no one's talking about how Stamkos has made it to 4 conference finals, only won once, and then lost in the Stanley Cup final. He's literally made it to the playoffs every time and has literally been eliminated and hasn't made it to that next level. I know Stamkos is an unreal scorer, unreal player.
But is it a mental thing, you think?
I don't think it's a mental thing. I just purely saying that you could talk about how Ovechkin's failed so many times in the second round, but no one talks about how many times Stamkos has failed in the third round or even lost in Stanley Cup final. I know it takes a lot to get there. I know really that's not really failure making it to the third round, but just in general, you're not really no one's talking about that. And I feel like if Stamkos loses this next series against Washington, it's just another addition to his legacy of failure, I would say, so far.
Probably.
And you were saying blow up the team. I'm not going to blow up the team, but
I think you're going to see something with the C's and the A's rolling around there. I think you might have to think about something different.
All right, so who wins their third cup this year? Kunitz in a row or Fleury?
Neither.
Neither. You think Vegas, both of them are done?
Yep.
All right.
We got to leave it there. Check out this episode on YouTube.
Yeah, go to our YouTube. You can look up the penalty box. It will be a picture of me with my Golden Knights jersey.
Ugly.
You can follow our Twitter. Or you follow my Twitter at Michaels_Nikos. It's MICHALS_NIKOS. You can follow our show Twitter at PenaltyBoxCSR. You can follow James at JD Hicks88. And we are the Penalty Box. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
We
listening.
love you. Who you got for tonight? What's the score for Caps? Caps versus
4-1 Capitals.
4-1 Capitals. 4-0 Capitals.
All right, there we go. Have a good night.